Hi, welcome back to the channel. Friday night out here in Las Vegas. We're getting ready to go down to the card room of the Venetian. So reporting here from outside of Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. How does that sound to you? Probably doesn't sound good to some of you Raiders fans there in California, but people out here are very excited about having a football team out here. So hopefully, hey, we're 1-0. Let's go 2-0. Let's beat up those Saints. I mean, Drew Brees, you're great and all, but it's a new era out here in Las Vegas. We're on the waiting list right now. See how long it takes us to get a table. On the top floor of the parking garage at the Venetian. Gonna head downstairs, hoping to get some cards in to the weekend, get a vlog out to you guys next week. So we're about an hour in to our session at the Venetian. Buy-in for 300, it's a 1-3 game. I was honestly only looking to play a couple hours just to get some cards in, get the weekend set, play the rest of the weekend, and shoot on Saturday for the vlog. As I was sitting there, I turn around and I see a familiar face. Chuck from Happy Face Hold'em. If you haven't checked out his vlog, check it out. So Chuck ends up seated at our table right across from me. And as you can see, he's recording his vlog. So I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and get a couple hands in. This might be fun if we both get a hand against each other and we can both vlog from our different perspectives. But the opportunity to go up against each other really never came up, which was fine. So the first hand I decided to record, actually, as you can see, I didn't even get the cards into the camera view, but I have pocket jacks here. But here we are, we're under the gun plus one. We have pocket jacks, I make a raise of the $10. One caller for middle position, and the button raises to $45. Now he hasn't raised one time in the entire 30-40 minutes he's been sitting. And honestly, he has played very, very few hands. Obviously, I'm thinking premium hand, aces, kings. I call the $35 raise. The middle position player folds, and I go ahead and I check dart. Flop comes out. He's looking at me to see if I've even looked down at the board. I haven't. And he bets out half pot, $50. I look down, and what a beautiful sight. Jack 10-5 with two hearts. Pretty convinced here with his continuation bet. It's aces or kings. It looks to me that he has about 155 in front of him, so that's the amount that I amass. A little hard to see sometimes through the plexiglass across the table. He thinks for a little while before going all in, and I make the call for just another $20. The turn is a 10, the river is another 10. I just go ahead and immediately show. He mucks his cards in disgust, gets up, walks away from the table. So go get more chips, comes back and sits in a new seat. And again, doesn't play many hands for the rest of the night. We're in the one seat, so my typical position for the camera doesn't work. You can't see any of the table. So I end up not really recording many hands here, as it just wasn't the premium spot to be. So I'm under the gun, 7 deuce of hearts, let's make the raise at the $10. 3 callers all behind me, so I'm first to act the rest of the way. That's definitely the spot you want to be in poker. Let this be a lesson. Take notes, and then when you're done taking them, crumble them up and set them on fire. Definitely not the way you want to play this hand. The flop comes out 9-4-9. I check. First caller checks. The next guy bets $20. The button folds. I go ahead and make a raise up to $60. The next player folds, and the original bettor thinks for a little bit. He says, I guess you're trying to tell me you have a 9. At one point he picks up chips as if he's going to call, puts them down. I don't know if this was just to try to get a reaction out of me, but he folds. And at first I wasn't going to show, but then the dealer hadn't grabbed him right away. So I decided to go ahead and show my bluff. And I flip over the 7 deuce of hearts. Mostly because I was trying to set up, hopefully, some similar action for later on in the game. Well, we ended up actually racking up shortly thereafter. We only played a couple hours. We'll book a win and go home, get some rest, and get ready for the weekend because the goal is to play some more this weekend. Plan on hitting the Orleans and then actually probably coming back to the Venetian as well, as this high hand promotion is bringing in a lot of players. This will be the second session we're starting this weekend. Heading down to the Orleans. Gonna meet a buddy of mine down there. Play for a little bit this afternoon. See what we can get going. Don't know how busy it'll be. It's still pretty early. We're going into week 2 of the NFL. Got my Cardinals hat on. Go Cardinals! They looked good last weekend. Upset the Niners. Hopefully they can make easy work of the Washington football team. So more likely we're probably just gonna be playing 1-3 today. We'll see you at the tables.
Okay, so we're at the Orleans with one of my best friends in the world. Since I was 5 years old, we grew up together, and now we both live out here in Vegas. So to get an opportunity to play with him is great. Due to the nature and high sensitivity of his job, I don't put him on camera to get a few hours in and just hang out and have a good time. So early on, we looked out at this 5-6 of hearts. We make a raise. My buddy comes along, just calls, and we get 2 other caller, $10 a piece, and we're off to a flop. 10-7 deuce with 2 hearts. Not a terrible looking flop there. Backdoor straight draw, flush draw. But we go ahead and check it. There's 3 of the people behind us for first to act. My buddy bets out $40. The other 2 players fold. I'm not going anywhere just yet. We got a couple hearts here, and he has been known to bluff from time to time. So we're going to keep going here, see another card. The turn is a complete brick. I go ahead and check, and he puts out a bet of a little over $100. I feel like he could either have a big pair here or a better flush draw. And I just decided to live another day, let him take it down. A little bit later, because we're sitting right next to each other, so he leans around the Plexiglas and whispers, "I had pocket aces." And he didn't raise. I just played it weird because he was looking to trap someone else. Ended up getting me in there. And that's all right. We get our revenge a little bit later, and I think between those 2 pots, the only 2 that we actually went up against each other, we broke even. So that works out just fine. All right, this next hand we're in middle position. There's 1 limper. Looking at a 10 deuce of spades, and if it's good enough for Doyle Brunson, then it's good enough for me. If he can win 2 bracelets with it, then I could surely win a pot with it, right? So let's just limp in, see what happens. 10 deuce of spades. Here, what could be the worst thing that can happen? Lose $3? Yeah, let's go for it, right? The cutoff raises it up to $10. The big blind calls. Of course, we're coming along for another $7. Flop comes out 10, 8, 10 with 2 clubs. What a flop. Big blind checks. We check right behind. The original raiser puts out a bet of $20. Big blind makes the call. At this point, we go ahead and raise it up. I don't want to raise too big, but I want to see if we can maybe isolate, get one of them to fold here. I'm assuming here that they're probably both on a draw, hopefully one on the straight draw, one on the club draw, and for one of them to have the case 10, pretty unlikely. Let's get a little more into the pot here and maybe make one go away. So we just raise it up to $65. The original raiser folds, and the big blind makes the call. The turns of 4 of clubs, bringing the flush draw complete. Big blind checks. And we check behind. Might have been better to bet here, see where we're at, see if he comes along, give us a little more information. But we decided just to go ahead and check behind, a little more pot control, I guess. And let's get to the river, see what happens. The river's a complete blank. It brings out a 3, no help at all. He checks once again, and at this point we've just resigned. We got some showdown value. Maybe the 3 10s is good here, and we check behind. And he turns over 10-9. We show our 10, not going to show my bad kicker, what I'd call the original raise with. But just a good example of what not to do. Shouldn't be limping in with hands. Shouldn't be limping in an early position like that. I'm just following suit for what I did the night before at the Venetian, making some mistakes, playing too many hands from early position. So we need to right that ship and get things turned around. We ended up just playing another short session, probably just about 3 hours. And again, we're just kind of hanging out with my buddy. The action wasn't overly great. We were down about 300, and we ended up getting a nice double up off camera towards the end of this session, and won a few more small pots from there. Grinded our way to profit. Got a little bit of profit. Got some cards in with a good friend. Can't complain. Time to go home, have a little bit of dinner. The goal is to come back tonight, get into a 2-5 game that hopefully offers some more action than 1-3 game did.
Here we are, Raider Stadium, Monday Night Football underway, week 2 of the NFL, and the Las Vegas Raiders are opening up in their brand new stadium. $2 billion stadium, no fans. Well, that's 2020 for you. Nice looking stadium there. Go Raiders. Those of you that watch my channel, you know I'm a Cardinals fan. But hey, I got to root for the home team, right? Hopefully next year, maybe we can report a little bit from one of the seats. Alright, welcome back. We're over here at the Orleans, going for our second session of the day. Came over here this afternoon, had a short session with a buddy of mine, and we're back tonight. We're going to see if we can keep that run good going.
Alright, so we're back in the poker room, got our name on the 1-3 and the 2-5 list, and the lists are huge. And unfortunately, they only have one 2-5 table going. The list shows over 30 names, and I have no idea how deep I am on that because I can't even see my name on the screen. We wait about a half hour and we finally get called for the 1-3 game. So we take a seat, buy in for 500, hope to play a little bit, and then get moved over to the 2-5 game. So within our first couple of orbits, not a whole lot going on, and we look down at one of the best hands in poker. Well, at least for me. Not talking about aces, talking about one of my favorite hands, good old 5 deuce. That's right. And we decided to go with a strong move, and we limp in. Gets over to the cutoff, who makes a raise up to $13. There's 2 callers, and of course, I'm going to call. Got 45 in the middle, and we have 5 deuce. Not only do we have 5 deuce, and with only 1 player behind, we're technically in middle position. So hey, that's an improvement. Let's go. The flop comes out 7 deuce 5. The small blind and the big blind both check. More than likely, this flop hasn't connected with any of them, so I don't want to chase them away just yet, betting out. So we go ahead and check. Got a big hand here to see if we can get someone to bet out on the turn, and the cutoff checks. Let's see a turn. The turn is a 9. Both blinds check once again. We're not going to check anymore here. Let's get some more money in the pot. We got a big hand. Let's build this pot up. We put a bet out of $25. The cutoff makes the call. The other 2 players fold. And we're off to a river of a king. I put out a bet of $55. I'm hoping that the cutoff, maybe have ace king here, hit something on the river, or maybe some kind of middling pair that he's willing to come along with for just half the pot, getting a 3-1 on his money. Unfortunately, makes the fold, and we take that one down. Let's hammer into the gun. We're looking at ace king of hearts, and we raise up to $10. It folds around to the small blind, who 3-bets to $25. The big blind folds. I contemplate a 4-bet here. And in retrospect, I think that probably would have been the best move. But at this point, we just make the call. The flop comes out deuce deuce 5, which normally that's a flop I can really get behind. There's 2 clubs, and the action goes check check. The turn is a 10 of hearts. He bets out $15, and we quickly make the call. The river is a queen of clubs, and he checks. This is my opportunity at this point to go ahead and take this down. At this point, I can't put him on any kind of clubs. I do believe he would have continuation bet the flop, and he wouldn't check the river here. I have very little showdown value with ace high. I don't think it's good at this point in time. Just want to put a bet out there, see if we can take it down. I put out $35. He thinks, he goes to fold, he pump fakes the fold. I think he's trying to get the reaction out of me, and then he makes the fold. Alright, this next hand we'll look down at Queen 10, and we're on the big blind. There's 3 limpers to us, so we just go ahead and tap the film. Let's see a flop. no need to raise at this point in time. And the flop comes out 4-10 queen. I check, under the gun plus 1, that's $12. The other two limpers fold, and I go ahead and make a raise up to $35. He calls, and the turn is a 7. This time I decide to lead out. I make the same bet, $35, as he made the call pretty quickly there on the flop. And again, he makes a pretty quick call here. The river brings the third diamond to the board, which is not great. I'm not loving this at this point in time. There's quite a bit in the middle, and I have to make a decision here. If I check and he bets, how much am I going to call? I make the check. Unfortunately, he checks right behind me, and our queen 10 is good here. And we take down another good pot. Okay, this next hand, we looked at a queen 10. And we just limped in here because the button's been raising every hand just about. His newer player at the table has raised probably at least the last 8 out of 10 hands, regardless of position. So I decided I'm just going to limp in here, and I'm going to make a call of whatever his raise is. And he doesn't disappoint. He raises up to $15 and then folds all the way around. It comes back to me, and I make the call. The flop is decent. Ace, Jack, King with 2 diamonds. I go ahead and check. He bets out $15, and I make the call. The turn is an 8 of clubs, putting 2 diamonds, 2 clubs on board. I check once again, and he bets out $50. Now at this point, we flopped the straight, but the board is starting to get a little scary with 2 diamonds, 2 clubs out there. So I'm not going to let him get to a draw if he has it for cheap. We're going to go ahead and raise it up now. Get some money in this pot, because if the diamond or club doesn't come on the river, I'm probably not going to get another penny out of them. So let's go ahead and raise it up and make it up 150. Unfortunately, he makes the fold here, and we take on a good sized pot. Okay, this next hand, it's folded around all the way to the button, who makes it $10. I'm in the small blind, I look down at 3-4 diamonds. I go ahead and make the call, big blind folds, and before the flop, I go ahead and dark check here, and the flop comes out Jack, Deuce 7, all diamonds. Awesome. As you know, it's really hard to flop a flush, and my dark check pre-flop really hides my hand. The button checks behind, the turn comes out at Ace of Hearts. I bet $15, hopeful that this ace has connected with him in some way, and he raises to $30. I call, river's a 3. I check, and he bets out $40. I contemplate raising here after he bets 40, but I have some suspicions that he could possibly have that higher flush. A little bit of pot control, just make the call, show my 3-4 diamonds, and he rolls over 5-8 of diamonds for a higher flopped flush. Like I said, it's really easy to flop a flush. So we sat down about 9:30 tonight. We still haven't been calling for the 2-5 list. At this point, I'm thinking I must have missed my name. Probably didn't hear it. I go and look at the list. I'm still on there. I'm number 12 on the list. There's still 27 people. And then again, there's only 1 table. So they never did start another 2-5 table, which was unfortunate. It's 11:45. I'm still 12th on the list. I'm not really planning on staying too much longer. So I just give up on the fact that I'm going to be playing 2-5 tonight. But all in all, we had a good night. We ended up, looks good, about a little over $200 profit. Another good night, another profitable session. Go home, get some rest in, watch some football in the morning. And then the plan is to head down to the Venetian on Sunday night to complete the weekend.
Alright guys, we're out here in the Venetian, and if you've been watching my channel, I'm sure you've been watching these other guys' channels. I ran into 3 other vloggers tonight. How great is that? So we're having a vloggers night out here at the Venetian. So we're going to try to do our best in social distance. So we got here, alright, Happy Face Hold'em right here. We got Think Blue Poker, and we got Mr. Wegas, who's right here in Las Vegas with me. So we got 2 California guys, 2 Las Vegas guys here. Just want to check out all our channels. So that's Happy Face Hold'em, Think Blue Poker, Mr. Wegas, and Jeff Stimson. Please like, subscribe. You guys, hey, the floor is yours. What do you want to say?
Hey, join me for my ride, 500 hours of 2-3. That's what I'm doing. Just follow me on my West Coast travels, up and down the West Coast, Vegas, Arizona.
That's right.
Thinking about Texas next month.
I need gas money. Gas money.
Gas money for the RV. Check us all out. Be happy to play with you. We'll see you guys at the tables. Thanks for joining us.
Great meeting those guys. Got to check out their vlogs. Mr. Wegas hits a huge hand. See how that hand goes down. Steve from Think Blue Poker was playing the tournament that night. Ends up taking the tournament down. And then Chuck from Happy Face Hold'em. Another profitable night for him. Vloggers getting together, making some money, making some videos. so be sure to check them out. Early on, buying for 300 in the 1-3 game, and we're in the small blind. We looked at pocket fours. Under the gun plus 2 makes it $15. And he only has about $100 in his stack in front of him. The next player calls, who also only has about $100 in front of him. And of course, I have a pair, pocket fours. We're going to make this call. The flop is 10-3 deuce. I check. The original raiser bets out $30. Next player folds. Now I go ahead and make the call here. I've only been sitting here for about 1 round, and I'm trying to decide whether this player has a really big pair or a really big hand, like an ace-king suited type of hand. And I went ahead and made the call. He's already got half his stack in there. He's only got 50 behind. The turn is a 7. I check, and he goes all in. There's not really a whole lot of scary cards out on the board, except for maybe flopping the pair of 10s there. This line that he takes makes me feel like he just has ace-king. I have pocket fours. There's only 2 overs on the board, so I'm feeling pretty safe here. And I go ahead and make the call. The river's a 4, but I really don't feel like I needed it here, but it's just, hey, a bonus. And he turns over pocket queens. So I read that wrong, but I still take it down. So that's the beauty of poker. You can be completely wrong and still win a pot. I mean, like I said, he didn't have a whole lot there. He only had 100 to start the game, so I have a pair. A lot of different hands he could be doing that with. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, the very next hand, we looked at a king 9 of clubs. There's 4 limpers, and the flop comes out queen jack 8. It checks all the way around. The turn is a 5. Again, it checks all the way around. No one's interested in this. And then the river's a 10. The first person bets out $10. She only has about 85 in front of her. I go ahead and make a raise up to $35 as we've hit our straight on the river. It's a little bit disguised, so we've checked it all the way down. She makes the call, and we show our straight. She shows the lower end of the straight, the 7, and we take that another good pot early on. So we're off to a really good start here. We continue to grind for a while. We get into a big hand with ace-king. We flop top 2 pair. I mentioned earlier where the Venetian was doing their high hand promotion, and we had a gentleman bust out the tournament, come and sit down. Very first hand, he has pocket 10s, flops quad 10s, and wins the high hand of the night in the very first hand, sitting down for $600. And then probably about 45 minutes later, pocket 9s, hits quads again, and again hits high hand. So nice short easy work to get $1,200 there, getting quads twice. I told him, hey, you know what, I'm going to mention that in my vlog. That's pretty cool if that happened. He happened to be none other than Tyler Knowles. So I don't know if you know him. He's got quite a few poker books out there. He started with a poker blog himself years ago. So yeah, Tyler, got to know him. Really nice guy. And I think that's probably a big reason why I really didn't do a whole lot with this game. We ended up just kind of chatting. So yeah, check out his website. Put the link down in the description below. We're going to wrap up this poker, football, and friends, and well, I guess new friends vlog. Thank you for joining us.